if we are leaning into a 4, that you would kiss your shoulder. I want you to really remember when you're kissing your shoulder, like, you were doing amazing. And your child is going to be that much greater because you're doing it.
Woo! We're going to bring the tears on. Welcome to Come Talk with Aimee, the podcast where sex isn't whispered about, it's talked about out loud. I'm Aimee, your host and intimacy coach, here to spark raw, playful, and unfiltered conversations about relationships, desire, and everything in between. No shame, no scripts, just real talk about what really turns us on. Let's dive in. Foreplay is all about playing, and since Candace has created this amazing Touchy Feely Game, because this is so beautiful, and I have it displayed in my house right now because it clearly fits the background. I have not yet, but I will when people come in. We're going to be bringing this out and playing. Just Candace, can you go quickly over like the rules of the game so that whether people have listened to the pod or not, they can know what we're about to get into?
Yes. So the lower the level of touchy-feely, the more unfamiliar the players should be with each other, right? So strangers get to know you, first date, children's experience, what do children know about love, that type thing. The higher the level you play, the more of a relationship you should have with that person. I would say in level 4, people you love and trust implicitly. And then just to go into level 2 are people who you're kind of trapped with. So you have to understand them better, compassion-based therapy. Think of like roommates, coworkers, exes, co-parenters, that kind of thing. In-laws, right? Level 3, people you love, but there's no trust. Maybe you're close to them, but there's no trust. Maybe the trust is only implied, not established, or maybe it's been sort of broken down and you have to rebuild it. So between 1 through 4, you can figure out how comfortable you are with people verbally and physically, and then that's how you choose your level. And the way you play is you pick up a random question. If you don't know where to start, you always start at 1. You answer the question, which holidays or special occasions are most significant to you? In this case, Aimee would answer. I would rate Aimee's answer on a scale of 1 to 5 based on authenticity and openness. A 1 if she goes, Christmas. Okay, right? All the way up to 5 if she gives me her...
Christmas, why?
Right, Christmas, why? Like what Christmas is. If anytime it's a one-word answer, it is a 1. All the way up to 5. You answered so well, I don't have a follow-up question, and I feel like I'm bonded to you based on the information that you've given me. And then after that emotional rating of 1 through 5, I feel like I know Aimee enough to know that she's going to give us a 5, right? So then we go to this card here, the emotional conversion card. We flip it over and we match our emotional rating to an action. 1, barely answer, means you can barely touch me, caress. Down to 5, improvise. You answered so well, you can touch however you think is most appropriate. And at the bottom of the card we read from are the body parts. I was trying to find the card I originally started with, but at the bottom of level 1, the body parts will be present: forehead, cheek, hands, feet. The higher the level up, the more salacious and sensitive the body parts gets. Because remember, it's about the idea that if you're going higher up in level, the questions are a bit more emotionally sensitive, and so are the body parts that you are able to access. So that's how we play.
That. Erogenous zones match the questions.
That is a great way of saying it.
Okay, so what I thought we would do is I pulled some cards. Since we have 4 levels, I figured, like, why not, stick to the middle ground and do 2 and 3? How do we feel about that?
Love it.
Fabulous. I'll say the question for you, and then you'll answer, and then I'll answer yes. Does that work?
Let's do it.
Do we both answer and then both rate, or do I rate you and then do we want to do the full thing and then switch it?
That's where it becomes so interesting. Okay, so I usually tell people who are in long distance relationships playing the game that it's really great if you focus just on one person and then on the other person. So in this instance, though, because we're girlfriends, it's not really romantic between us. I actually think it's really about commonality and bondship. So I'll answer fully, then you'll answer fully, because then it's really just about us being able to understand each other. Then we'll rate. But just remember what the rating is that you have.
Fabulous. I love that. So many different ways we can play this. So, level 2. In the sport of love, are you often positioned on offense or defense? And explain why.
In the sport of love, am I often on offense or defense? You know what? Sadly, I'm always on defense because I feel like I'm always championing love. People shit on love all the time. Love is the reason for every complication. It seems to be the reason for everyone's misery. It's the reason why people can't be touched. It's the reason why people can't be talked to. It's
Mhm.
just the curse of life is love. And I'm always on defense because every well person knows that that is just simply not true. And so in my own romantic life, it's a really beautiful experience. It's not a sport at all. It just feels like goodness. But as I move around with Touchy Feely and I deep dive into people's romantic experiences, their journeys, and what they're actually wanting, I am often on defense to remind adult people who are making up their own realities that you are only hurt of your own making and that you can free yourself from pain at any time. And that is usually met with a lot of vitriol, especially
Mm.
if you have narrated your life a certain way because you've dealt with and handled a certain amount of pain and violation. But tomorrow is never promised, which means that it can be created into anything you want it to be.
Oh, hello. I think that my little may have given away my rating a little bit, but we're not rating yet. I
I'm
love it.
excited to hear your answer.
All right. So, in the sport of love, offense or defense? Whew, I would say I also think defense. And I'm actually going to give a two-part question answer. I would say defense, like, again, I'm a Taurus. I tend to be like, okay, when I get into something, I am committed. We are working on this. I give people the benefit of the doubt a lot of the times. And so I'm usually like, let's figure this out. Like, let's work. So, yeah, I would say like defense in that way. Also, like, in the podcast, we talked about my relationship with rejection and also like being the rejector. And I'm kind of leaning into that in a lot of ways where I am assessing, like, early on, like, is this for me? Does this have value? I'm walking away sooner than I usually would have in the past. So, in that way, I feel like maybe a little bit on the offense and like moving it forward and exiting it out if need be. That's my answer.
Well, I'll rate you first. I know
Okay,
I
yes,
answered
go
first,
ahead. Go
but
ahead. Right.
let me tell you. So, for just what you verbally shared, I give you a 4.
Okay.
But for what I know to be true because of the podcast we just recorded,
Mm.
I give you a 5.
Okay.
Because there are a couple of things that you've not said here, but you've shared already that I know makes your answer so soulful. Recovering from being a people pleaser is such a freaking journey. It really is. And one of the ways that I know that you are moving forward in that journey is because of what you were just describing, being able to end relationships when you know they fundamentally have to be versus
Mm,
waiting for there to be more pain. I always say God will hit you with a pebble, then he'll knock your ass over with a boulder. So be
yeah.
smart enough to leave when the pebble hits you. So because I understand that, because myself, I struggle that same way. Okay, that's why I really give you a 5, because you do have to stand in defense of what you know to be true now that you're not just trying to please everybody in the group. And that is a lot of work. Even the way you shared it is the reason why I gave you a 4, but you shared it the way you shared it because you're not fully there yet. You still have a
Mm,
little bit of ambivalence, but you're getting there. You're doing the hardest work, which is when to know when it's time to go. Sorry,
yes.
buddy. Gotta go. You know?
Bye.
Bye.
I love that. And thank you for like diving into the difference between the 4 and the 5 and like giving me that
Yeah.
feedback. Like I'm learning about me from you in that
Yeah.
assessment. I love that.
And I'm proud of you. It's hard. It's difficult changing yourself. It really
Yes.
is.
I'm looking at my emotional conversion, although we're not there yet. It has the 1 through 5. And I would take you straight to a 5 because I feel like you gave us such richness in your answer. And I love that you were like, I'm a defender of love. And then not only did you say that, but you backed it up by why that is and delving deep into like personal as well as professional. And also just like the podcast that we did, and then also like everything that you put out there just backs everything that you said, which is just so beautiful. So definitely the went straight to a 5 for me.
Thank you. Thank
Mhm.
you. I try to be a soldier for love, as Sade calls it.
So before we like finish out this card, right? The erogenous zones, chin, calves, neck, and shoulder. And then the emotional conversion, 4 would be kiss, 5 would be improvise. So how should we proceed forward with this? I mean, obviously we're going to touch ourselves, but how should we negotiate the emotional conversion touching aspect?
In this case, I'll say we should play the way I tell long distance lovers to play, which is
Okay.
I would tell you which body part you should touch, and you tell me which body part I should touch, if you're comfortable with that. I would say if we are leaning into a 4, that you would kiss your shoulder and tell
Okay.
yourself, Aimee, I'm doing a beautiful job moving myself forward. And remember that the work you do is going to move into your child, which is our future.
Mm.
So I want you to really remember when you're kissing your shoulder, like you were doing amazing. And your child is going to be that much greater because you're doing it.
Woo! We're gonna
Yes.
bring the tears on. Okay. You brought my child into it. My mommy heart. Okay. I'm gonna kiss myself now. We love a little self kiss. Okay. Mm. Aimee, you're doing amazing. And this is for the work that you're doing is not just for you today and always, but for your future and for your beautiful daughter.
We
All
don't
right.
need any more people pleasing girls in the world.
Oh yeah, and my daughter, oh
Yeah.
my goodness, she is like, may her spirit not be broken because it is strong and mighty, and I love it.
Perfect.
All
Yeah.
right, so I am going to have you touch your chin
Okay.
because I feel like it's such an underappreciated part of our body. And I would love for you to caress it either with one hand, two hands, and really revel and tell yourself how proud that you are of yourself for creating so much love and light in this world and ushering in like a beautiful movement like of
Oh,
love and honesty for the world.
Amy, thank you. I will take that with pride and with honor. And I feel
Yeah.
like you're like doing that for me.
All right, we're
I
ready
love
for
that.
level 3.
Yes, we're ready for level 3.
So, level 3, choose 3 F's that matter the most. Okay, so here are the F's, a lot of F's: finances, fucking, flirting, food/feeding, forging, fighting, feelings, fun, and frankness. Woo! That's a lot of F's.
My 3 are, because I had to hold the card in front of me because there are so many F's. My 3 are frankness, flirting, and forging. And honestly, if you know my life, the fact that I didn't choose finances goes to show you why my company is not doing very well. I'm not focused on the money. But to give a more concrete answer, frankness, because I revel and I navigate toward people who can just tell the truth,
Yes.
period. Everything else to me is fluff. Foraging, because I am a curious explorer. I don't take anyone's word for it. I need to go and see for myself.
Mm.
It was why this game was created. I think if I had a backer or a founder, it would only just be a talking game, right? Because touching is so salacious. But because I have this creative spirit, it's important for me that it's done the way I feel it should be done based on what I think people need. So that is why I chose that. Flirting is how I've gotten everywhere in life. Flirting with the idea
Mm.
of it's what imagination is. What if
Yeah.
right? So, and then leaning into that. What if I went up to New York and met these sexperts? What if I talked to that
Yeah.
boy I'm really interested in? What if I do nothing with my life? How will that satisfy me? So the
Mm.
idea of, they say flirting with danger. The idea of flirting with is what's been able to create the most romantic and beautiful life, period. And I'm really, really thankful that I've always been able to feel empowered to trust my flirty sensibility, even though it has gotten me in a little bit of trouble as well.
I hear that as a fellow flirt. Oh God, I love those. I love those. Don't
Yeah,
make me
it's a hard
choose.
one though.
I know. Don't make me choose.
I know it's so hard. And the fact that it's 3 is so hard. Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Sorry, Anna.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to go with feelings, flirting, and fun. Although, yeah, I want to go with fucking, let's be honest. But I feel like that would be like too easy to do, right? I've gone without and I don't want to go without it anymore.
Okay.
But I'm going to go with feelings because one, I'm a Taurus. I don't know if people do this anymore, like the color personalities back in like the 90s, 2000s, we were doing this. I don't know if people still do that anymore, but like I was always the blue, like where it was like heavy on the feelings. And I'm a very like empathic person, but through trauma and different things, I've also known how to like turn the feelings off and hide and be like dysregulated. And so I think like allowing myself to feel and using feelings as a gauge, going back to like rejection or leaving or being like that feeling and not turning it off, knowing when like, okay, I want to turn off, I want to disengage, that is telling me something. This is like a barometer in my life, right? So feelings, yes, yes, and yes. Flirting, I am a natural flirt. I do it without even knowing. So I don't really think that I could like live without it because it's just part of me. I remember back in like my 20s and a friend was in town who I knew from college. Somebody was fixing my light and I had never met this man. And I was just talking to him and my friend was like, whoa, you're laying it on thick. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm just having a conversation. It is like how I operate. And like, I love that you brought it into that curiosity space because I really do think it is how I like play and operate in life in all of my relationships. I chose fun because I think that it's really easy to go without fun or like disregard it or like, you know, as a worker bee and a perfectionist, I can be like, I need to work, I need to do this. Like it's easy to actually be like, I can't have time for fun and not prioritize it. That I really am learning that like this is important. This is self-care to like have fun, go to the events, meet people like Candace, you know, like really enrich my life. And that's something that like as a mom too, I try to engage in like making sure that we're having those elements of fun and that I'm learning from my daughter in like her exploration and how she views the world and being like, we don't have to like take everything so fucking serious. We can have fun in this moment.
I give you a 5 because I love that you related the feelings to your color chart. And it's
Mm,
funny because a friend recently just had hers done and she was telling me that I
okay.
should get mine done. Yeah, so it's definitely coming back if it ever went away. The flirting for me, listen, dead on. I don't even know I'm doing it. I feel like I'm just having conversation. So when you said that, I was like, when it's so innately in you, at least you can
Mm,
identify it. And then with the fun, I call young moms, anybody who has a child under 10, I call them young moms because
yeah.
you have children who are, you know, you've not quite been a mom for a decade. I feel like it takes a decade really to be able to like fully know that you're back in your mind, back in your body, and you're operative
Mm,
enough years that you feel like you're actually doing it well. And so being able to prioritize fun is so important because obviously all the research says that when mothers prioritize their wellness, then their children excel.
yeah.
And I think the first thing that most moms give up is fun because it seems so
Yeah.
frivolous.
Yes.
And so the idea that you're maintaining that and understanding it as a priority, I applaud. Honestly, I applaud. So yeah, 5 for me. I hope no one thinks I'm just giving you a 5. Like I'm trying to make sure I really explain it so it doesn't sound like I'm just trying to be like easy on you or something.
I'm like thinking about my rating for you too, which I know I'm like, I'm listening to you, but then I'm also like, 5, 5, 5, like you get a 5, you get a 5, you get a 5. And I talked about in the pod how I was like dead ass when the first time I played this and was like, not critical, but just like giving feedback and seeing
Yeah.
like I had more questions for this person. Like,
Yeah.
I want to know more. Thank you for my rating. I love it. I will take it. So for yours, flirting, well, first, I love that we're both natural flirts. Yes, yes, yes. And I love that you said that that's how you like get anything done in life. I love it. The forging, I really think that this is interesting that you chose, first of all, that forging is on here as a choice. And I love that you chose that. I'm going to give you a 4. And I don't think
Mhm.
that this is for you, though. I think it's more for me in that I want to know more about the forging.
Ooh,
Because
okay.
it is such a unique choice out of all of those. And so,
Yeah.
I want to know, a little bit more about what that looks like for you. And then the frankness, 5, and your explanation. And also, you have showed us that in this foreplay and also in, I just can see that that's how you operate and you display that. And I think it's just so beautiful, so you, and something that I'm learning from our interactions in how to be more frank. I just think it's great. But yeah, can you tell us a little bit more about the foraging?
Yeah, I would love to. Actually, it's funny because I think most people don't choose it because they're not even quite sure what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in the beginning of the human experience, foraging was for survival. You could only eat what you kill. It is said that some people were hunters, some people were gatherers, but in either experience, it's about creating your own reality, right? And for me, it's been in every inch of my life, it's been full examples that I live the life I want to based on the one I've created, not the one that's been given to me. You
Mm.
know, every person in this country is branded a certain way. We pretend like it's only certain ones of us, but it's actually all of us. All of us are given our branded boxes. And I make it clear with each room that I walk into that you will decide who I am based off of what I give you, not what you read, what you've watched. I don't care what Hollywood says. I don't care what your president says. I am my own because I have been created by a higher power, and you will experience me as your own and then decide who I am. That is a part of forging, is to allow people to experience me and do all the work to dismantle your belief system so that you're getting what you're getting because I'm giving it to you. So that's one thing, right? Of powerfully being able to create a reality that makes sense for me based off of what you experience of me, not what someone's told you a person like me is. Forging in my career, it was important for me to become a television news producer. I was first introduced to a man who wanted me to be a reporter. He thought that I would be best at that setting. But I'm a girl who likes to eat, and I don't want to hear what people have to say about my changing body. And so, spending
Mm.
a very short period on camera, I realized the power is in behind the camera. So I really
Mm.
quickly, after only a few months of reporting, asked if I could become a producer. Well, now I had to learn a whole new job. And so, on top of reporting, which was my actual job, then I had to learn how to become a producer. Happy to do it because I wanted what I wanted. With this game, I am doing it with no backers. I am only literally able to eat what I kill. Every dollar that comes in has to
Mm.
be allocated someplace. There's no boyfriend who's giving me money. There's no best friend who's financing my company. And I sometimes think about taking on a financier, but then I would have to have someone else's opinion matter to me. So just throughout my life, I've been able to see, even when I was sharing with you on the podcast about my dad, when he was telling
Yeah.
me that I shouldn't question the existence of God, even that was a radical choice to decide, but why can't I? And what does it say about
Mhm.
my reality if I can't question, right? So foraging for good, bad, or indifference has always been a part of my personality. And I know two things consequently as a result. One, it's been said that when slaves were brought over on ships, a lot of them chose to drown themselves in the ocean because they'd rather have the uncertainty of death than the certainty of misery. I am that slave. I
Mhm.
definitely would rather die uncertainty of death than the certainty of misery. I am not going to live a life of misery in this time where women are. I think that misery is on the plate for everyone to consume at liberty.
Yeah.
And two, if I were to make it over from the ship to America, then I'm Harriet Tubman. I'm not going to live this life. I'm going to pull out my motherfucking shotgun. I'm
Mm.
going to find freedom and I'm going to take whoever wants to come with me and I will kill whoever tries to turn back.
Damn,
So,
yeah.
however I experience myself, it is a person who makes things and I move forward not with the traumas of the past, but with the sunshine and the celebration of tomorrow. And that's what I try to encourage everyone. Yesterday already happened, but tomorrow is the blessing. even though it's not promised.
Mm.
That's why foraging is so important. I create it, I make it, and I
Yeah.
try to embody it for people who think I'm crazy.
Okay. 5 plus, 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 plus. Like, you knocked that out of the park. And I'm so glad that I originally marked you as a 4 so that we could hear
Yeah.
more about foraging. I think, like, I know I'm going to go and, like, think about my own relationship with foraging. Like, so beautiful.
But also, thank you for being honest enough to rate me a 4 so that I would have the experience of offering more. Because even some of the things I just said were things that I've never heard myself say out loud. And I get the marker a lot of being a troublemaker, especially in the corporate world.
Okay.
It's always you. You're always love. But it's not about being a troublemaker. It's about making sure that the environment is of my own making. I don't want to survive in someone else's narration. That would not bode well for being a Black woman in America if I did.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Amazing.
Yay!
Oh, wait. We have to do the touch. We have to do the
Yes.
touch. You choose the erogenous zone.
Ooh, yes. Okay. So the erogenous zones for level 3 are lips, upper back, knees, and outer thigh. So if I can choose what you do, I am going to say that I would love for you to improvise on your upper back, which is essentially just means that I would love for you to give yourself a hug.
Yes. We love that. More self hugs. Okay.
Always.
I'm definitely going to go with the 5, even though I did give you 4, but you like knocked it out of the park. So we're sticking with the 5. And I'm going to choose the outer thigh just to like more of a grounding touch. So give it a little squeeze and ground and feel into that earth of like, I am a forger and I am going to continue to forge.
Yes. And you know what? I'm so appreciative of this. I am doing it, guys. I'm sitting on my chair, but I am doing it. But also I'm thankful for this moment because my midsection, which includes my outer thighs, I can sometimes be very hard on myself when I'm looking in the mirror, wanting my body to look a certain way in the name of fashion or a night out. And so I'm always looking for moments where I can touch myself, particularly my very loose, flabby outer thighs, and just say that I am grateful for my body. I am grateful for what it does for me. I am grateful for the surviving mechanism that it is. And though I constantly talk about wanting it to change, I am thankful and proud if it never does. So
Yes.
I will take the outer thigh touch. Yes.
Yes. So beautiful. Amazing. Candace, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for this gift of like touchy feely. I
Thank
love it.
you.
I love it. Thanks for our subscribers for being here with us.
Yes,
And
thank you.
touch and feel on, loves. Touch and feel on.
And make sure you come while you're at it.
Yes. Come again, and come again.
Come again, come again, come again. I think I might just start doing that now. Come again, come again, come again, come again.
Yes. I love it.
That's all for today, lover. Remember to masturbate, lubricate, and get ate. If you liked this episode, share with a friend, like, subscribe, and as always, thank you for coming. Please come again, and come again.